Hello and welcome, guys. As promised, we are back with another video. So, today we'll be talking about one of the most historic days in IPL or world cricket, where we saw not one, not two, but three super overs in one day itself and two super overs in one game. So, Ishan, what are your views on it?
Absolutely crazy day. I mean, who would have expected to see two super overs in two different games, and on top of that, we get another one. So I think that is what IPL has become. It keeps throwing up surprises day after day, and it truly was a day well spent for cricket fans. And perhaps not just one of the most. I would call it the most iconic, or perhaps the greatest. I can give that title to it: the greatest IPL game day ever. I don't think anything can match this because you saw two equally good games which went down to the absolute tip of the wire, and you couldn't ask for anything better. So I mean, let's look at the main talking points regarding both the games. Let's look at the first day game first, KKR SRH, which was the main or the biggest talking point for the game.
Ferguson playing the game was very big in itself. Finally, KKR used him. We had
Hmm.
previously also spoken about how it's just the price tag pressure because of which they're playing Cummins because they know they bought him
Right,
for that much and they cannot change him so fast. But finally,
right.
they got Ferguson and he proved it in the very first match. I think he got 3 wickets in the game and
Yeah,
2 wickets in the super over. And Cummins has not got those many wickets in the entire IPL season as yet. So
right.
massive inclusion.
Yeah, right. Ferguson, I think Ferguson's impact on the game was the biggest talking point, at least in the game one, because Ferguson is actually a very underrated death specialist. He's not regarded amongst the top cream of the bowlers, despite the fact that if you roll back to the ICC 2019 World Cup, he had bowled well throughout the tournament. He was the one who was bowling the penultimate over to Dhoni as well. So that is the level of trust he had in the New Zealand squad. I don't IPL teams, like you said, they end up relying more on brand value, recognition, and stuff. And I think, like you said, 3 wickets is what Cummins has picked up in 9 games, and that is what Ferguson picked up in 4 overs. And if you count his super over performance where he picked up two, I think that just shows you the quality now which Ferguson presented to us. And I think now KKR's team really looks strong. There are a few loopholes still to be covered, but with Ferguson, I think Cummins will also gain a lot more confidence,
Yeah.
and that partnership could turn out to be interesting. The second main point for me, Tanveer, would perhaps be David Warner's indifferent form. I mean, I think he scored enough runs. He scored 300 plus runs in the IPL, but in this game he came at number four. Kane Williamson was, I think, promoted because of his injury, but he came in at number four in the eighth over, less than 100 runs required. And I think KKR were one bowler short because Russell was kind of limping, and still he could not get them through. Do you think Warner is trying to bat way too conservatively, or he's just not been in form? What do you think about Warner?
I think it's a mix of both. He's not even trying to be the attacking Warner we all love, but it's also
Hmm.
that he's not in the form. So it's not like you can see him easily rotating strike. He's just knocking the ball around. He is struggling. So that is something
Right,
very clear. So maybe he needs to probably try to free himself up, try to attack more. That might just help his game also. But this
right.
game was definitely not acceptable. Like you imagine a Warner playing for 11, 12 overs and still his team does
Hmm.
not reach home. Shocking for me.
Right. I think he was 28 of 26 by the time the 18th over started. And that is, I mean, that is just, those are the kind of innings which actually put pressure on batsmen like Warner when they are in form. So I think that is something really, I think he struck Russell for three consecutive boundaries in the last over, but Russell was again limping. You would expect Warner to take you through the line. I mean, take you across the line, and that is something he failed to do so. Also, maybe about his captaincy. What do you think was the point of sending Priyam Garg at three? Do you think Warner wanted to take charge of the middle order? I mean, they could have said Manish Pandey. No, what was the rationale behind that?
I mean, even I didn't get it. Like, ideally, a Priyam Garg is a player who bats at number three. But when you've
Hmm.
already gone with the settled lineup, you've put him at number five often. And Warner at four, Manish Pandey at five. I don't get the point. Like, Manish Pandey probably was one of the most informed players for SRH, was actually
Right.
striking the ball well. And you made him
Hmm.
number five. Warner coming
Right.
in at four. I didn't get the rationale behind that fully.
Especially in a chase,
Yeah.
when you need calm heads in the middle. So SRH's campaign, I think Warner describes SRH's campaign in some way. They've just been too, I mean, not here, not there completely, and Warner's form, it himself. I mean, not the aggressive best. He scored runs. You can't take that away from him. He scored 300 odd runs, but he's not looked that way. I think this loss actually makes it a lot trickier for SRH because KKR I think has gone 2 levels to I think
Yeah.
4 points ahead of them. That makes it quite complicated for them. Talking about Warner not being at his aggressive best, let's come back to the Mumbai Punjab game. I think that was a really aggressive game, and unfortunate for you as a Mumbai fan, but we perhaps got to witness one of the most brilliant IPL games ever, if not the most. What are your thoughts about that game? What are the talking points for you from that game?
Firstly, a big talking point, Jasprit Bumrah. I had been
Right,
complaining for a long time that he wasn't at his fluent best. This game, well, he was at his best. He got the wickets of, I think, Mayank Agarwal, KR Rahul, and Puran. And these are probably the three informed players for Punjab.
right,
And he dismissed all three of them. And it was quality wickets. It was not just like they threw away their wickets. He bowled
right.
proper, good deliveries, and he got their wickets. I have to give it to him. Brilliant bowling.
Fantastic. I agree. I think Jasprit Bumrah, I think he had been gaining form, but he had not hit his like peak of what we have come to know of Jasprit Bumrah in the last 3 years. But this match, he was at his absolute best. He got Mayank Agarwal bowled, but and Puran caught at I think fine leg. But the defining delivery for me was
Yeah,
getting KL Rahul bowled. I think he was trying to drive the ball or something,
yeah.
but the
That was
pace,
a
the
perfect
accuracy,
Yorker.
brilliant bowling, brilliant bowling. And I think Jasprit Bumrah single-handedly got Mumbai back into the game because Puran was looking good, 24 of 12. I think if he had carried on for a couple of more overs, the game would have been done and dusted. Rahul again was carrying it forward for Punjab, but Bumrah just absolute match winner. And I think Bumrah at his best makes Mumbai at least 5 times more lethal because you have your prime bowler back. And what do you think about the super overs? What are the main talking points on the super overs? For me personally, it is a running. It is the running between the wickets, which caused the entire mess. What do you think about Jordan taking that extra 5 meters and
The
Quinton de
whole
Kock jogging?
reason
What are your
it
thoughts about
reached
that?
the Super Over was the running. Ideally,
Right.
if Jordan ran properly, there was nothing like this going to happen.
What
Punjab would have simply won it.
I think there were some justifications behind it that he was trying to distract the
Yeah,
bowler. It was out of
he was
momentum,
actually
but
trying to act a little too smart. He thought he would get the direction of the throw and run in that
right.
direction, but it all became a mess for him
But
instead.
even that, if by mistake the ball would have hit him, I think the commentators are saying he would be out for obstruction of field. So what was Jordan's thinking behind all of that? I think just got muddled. What about Quinton de Kock? Do you think he jogged? He took it too lightly. What happened? I think that was. I think when it crossed that fielder, the diving field, I thought it was.
For
I
two.
think I think the match was done. So how do you think Quinton de Kock didn't manage to make it?
I mean, I don't know. Probably he was also a little laid back. Maybe he thought it was an easy double or something. But even in that case, you had to give in your best because it was the Super Over.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I found the whole approach a bit flawed. Even before that, Rohit Sharma, Quinton de Kock coming in, I would have personally preferred a Pollard going in, trying to get that hit in and
Hmm.
making it. But yeah, this
Especially
was
when Pollard is in form. Especially when Pollard is in form. He hit some 34 of 12, 15 balls in the main game. He's been in form in the entire IPL. So I think Mumbai and Quinton and Rohit Sharma, I think they took it a bit lightly in the first couple of deliveries. Then they're trying to play all these games, which is not something they specialize in. I think that is where they. Okay, last point I want to talk about, Tanveer, is Jasprit Bumrah and Shami bowling those super overs. Outstanding. I think that is showing the growth in
yeah.
India's bowlers. What did you think about those overs? I think
First,
Bumrah bowled a couple of full tosses, but still not
yeah.
to give more than 5 runs in a super over from both those guys. Fantastic.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Personally, I found Shami's over better than Bumrah's. He was on target almost every delivery for me. As you said,
Right.
Bumrah did bowl those couple of bad balls which did not get hit. But Shami for
Hmm.
me was on target like literally every ball. So I would give it to Shami. He deserved it.
Right.
Punjab deserved to win for Shami and Mayank Agarwal. I think we forgot to mention that. That
Wow.
save on the boundary, those 4 runs,
Outstanding.
definitely.
I think 15, 16 would have been beyond Punjab because I think that's a psychological barrier. 12, 11 is more like couple of hits and you like 1-6 by Gale almost finished the match. It chopped the target into half. I think, but that save, what a save. I think you wanted to mention something about Trent Bolt as a Mumbai fan. What are your feelings about Trent Bolt? Do you think he could have done better, or where did he lose it in the super over? He had 12 runs to defend.
I mean, ideally, after looking at the last over, he had bowled the 20th over. I actually had confidence that Trent Bolt can deliver. Maybe the
Right.
added pressure, the quality in front of him just got a bit flawed. But to be honest, I think he could have genuinely done way better than this. He messed up almost every ball. There was a full
Hmm.
toss to start with, then a bounce. he bowled a slower bouncer, which I think if Gale played it a bit better, that was gone out of the stadium. That was very close. That was also a ball which would have been hit. But other than that, again to Mayank
Right.
Agarwal, he bowled those full length balls which got hit. So very disappointing
Hmm.
to be a Mumbai fan and seeing the way he bowled there. But it's fine. There's pressure,
This
and he's bowled really well for the entire tournament. So I'll give that to him.
right. But thanks to all these guys, we got to witness a game and a day Tanveer, which has been absolutely exhilarating for fans. I mean, to watch to the build up to the super over is actually as much exciting as the entire super over, right? You're always thinking 2 runs, 1 ball, 1 run, 1 ball. Can it go there again? And it did 3 times in the day. And I think that added to the plus a Sunday, even though we are in a pandemic, Sunday is a Sunday, you're all laid back and stuff. I think brilliant day for cricket, and it just goes to show the quality on display that there's not this much margin for error, and if an error is usually made by both the teams, which cancels it out. I think brilliant day. What are your final thoughts about the day, Tanveer? And what do you think now? This boards for all three teams. Just a quick, if you want to give a uh, post-match impact for all the teams. Do you think this weakens Mumbai's chance to finish in the top two, strengthens KKR's chance to finish in the top four?
I wouldn't say weakens Mumbai's chance, like, yeah, in a way, kind of, but they still
Hmm,
are a quality team and they have done really well. So I would still back them to
sure.
end in the top two. For KKR, it was massive. Like at this point, they
Hmm,
are way ahead the other four sides now. They are the key
right,
contenders for the fourth spot. So yeah, big for them. If SRH had won this game, it would have been like five teams would have been on almost the same points. That would have been a
right.
very competitive. But now I think
That'd
KKR
be
do
fun.
have the edge. And Punjab, their hopes are alive. So yeah,
Yeah, they've got the momentum with them now. Two good games they won, and two tight games. Punjab was not winning the tight games in the start. Now they won two in a row. And with Gale's inclusion, you might just see them turn around. I don't know. Let's see. That's what makes the IPL interesting. All the last couple of few weeks, and everything boiling down to each individual match. So, guys, this was our main. These were our main talking points about probably the best, most iconic IPL game day ever. Which were the main talking points for you on this day? Tell us in the comments below, and keep following the Great Company as we'll keep coming out with more videos. Thank you,
thank
guys.
you guys.